Alright, this is going to be a new type of video. Going to be doing a patch rundown. I've got Fozz and Alvance with me. Say hello.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So, patch 13.12. Starting out with Ashe. We've got the base passive damage going from 115% to 120%. So, that's when she auto-attacks someone that's got Frost Shot slowing them. The crits baseline are going to do 120 instead of 115%. The W damage is going up by 10 at all ranks, and she's getting 20% AP ratio on her ult. So, the AP ratio is for if she's building Rageblade, but I don't think she should be.
It could also be for the support Ashe as well.
It could be for support Ashe too, and the volley changes help support Ashe. But one big thing is that Infinity Edge Ashe. Ashe is the only ADC in the game who can crit at one item, who can reliably IE crit at one item. So the baseline crit damage going up if you get a first or second item Infinity Edge on Ashe with maxed Q is going to hit really hard. I did some maths with this, and the damage is pretty disgusting. So we'll see if Q max IE Ashe comes out.
Might be interesting. The thing is, Ashe was very weak last matches, so I think this will just balance her, not make her necessarily strong. I think it's a pretty good balance, but I don't think she will be that much stronger. I mean, OP wise.
Yeah, I think the volley changes and ult changes making support Ashe better, and support Ashe now having access to Mandate and Echoes of Helia because Mandate's no longer a mythic. I think for competitive, the flex potential of Ashe might come back. We might see Ashe flexes early.
How does she do in the meta compared to other ADCs? Like,
I mean,
damage-wise, with this patch in mind.
The ADCs that are meta right now are pretty good against her, like Zeri, Lucian. Those ADCs are pretty good against Ashe, so let's see.
Yeah, I mean, damage-wise, she's going to be fine with the Q. Like, if you build crit, she's going to be fine, but the lack of mobility and is the main thing gating Ashe normally.
She's still weaker than pre last nerf, so her volley still does a little bit less damage. So I don't know. I don't think she will be very good, but she can still be used in some games and be strong. More as a support than as an AD, I think.
Okay. Right, onto Gangplank.
Yeah, nice buffs.
Yeah, nice buffs overall. Onto Gangplank, I could talk for hours about this champion, but at one point this season, Gangplank was the best top laner in the game. Then he got nerfed 5 times in 2 patches, and then all the crit items got reworked, and he lost the ability to build a mythic item. Because Navori, that used to be his second item, just became a mythic, so he's now mythic locked after 2 items, whereas before he could go Essence Reaver Navori and then actually buy a mythic. So he got completely screwed over, and what they're doing here is just reverting one of the nerfs that they did to him, one of the 5. It is the biggest one. The extra cooldown on barrels is definitely going to help, but a lot of the problem that he's having is that barrels just don't hit like they used to. So I still don't think he's going to be good after this.
Look, the question is he ever going to have spots where he's going to be picked?
Maybe.
He's actually good.
I think the Trinity Force Gangplank is like okay as a compromise now. And this definitely helps the Triforce GP. Just having more... Like, if your barrels don't hit as hard, right, you're going to want more of them too.
In that kind of situation, like, considering his strength right now, and with this patch in mind as well, where would you... Like, how would you place him in a draft? How would you draft him against specific matchups? And what use can you actually have out of him, with the items in mind as well and everything?
I think he might just be like an R5 pick, kind of like what we see with Gwen, but obviously Gwen's really powerful. But like, if you have a game where you really want to play through bot, but you also want to like counter pick the enemy top, let's say they go like Fiora or something, I think GP's has a really nice matchup into Fiora. It got a bit worse because they nerfed him so hard, but like the way the champion works functions really well into Fiora, so maybe just ends up being like a decent R5 pick sometimes.
The thing is, I think you max Q on Gangplank first, right?
Yeah.
So
but
yeah, this
the champ. So this is
like...
good. This is going to come in at level 13, right? But Gangplank doesn't really come online until level 13 anyway, because at level 7 and level 13, his barrel tick rate goes down. So at level 13, he can start doing like all the fancy barrel combos. And by that point, this buff is going to be in effect. So it is definitely.
So it's just a small buff to his late game.
Yeah, they're just reverting one of the nerfs that they did. I don't think it's enough, but it's definitely nice. I think every GP player is going to appreciate it. Gragas, this guy's been a bit of a menace, especially in pro play. So they're nerfing his passive cooldown from 8 to 12 seconds. And they're actually buffing the mana cost on Q, compensate, which is good, because part of the reason that you would never, like, you often wouldn't even put points in Q when doing Emax because it costs so much mana. Although I suppose with Emax, you're still going to have to rank 1 Q, so it's not going to matter, but Qmax is going to have a lot more mana. But the passive nerfs are massive for solo lane Gragas. Jungle and support Gragas aren't really going to care. But that's literally, like, they're adding 50% of the cooldown onto the cooldown of his passive. Like, his sustain is getting gutted.
Yep.
Is the mid lane Gragas screwed with this? Is a question as well.
I don't know if he's screwed. I don't think he's screwed in top lane, but it's like, instead of being broken in top and mid, I think he's just going to be, like, good.
Alright. I think he's too good of a champion at the moment anyways. So the nerfs are justifiable, I think. Yeah.
And when you have an extremely flexible champion being extremely powerful, it's like, it just warps the meta.
Yep.
Yeah, he definitely needed a nerf. Yeah,
they're not too much. They're a bit careful with it, but it still hits him, especially like you guys mentioned, laning wise. So yeah, pretty good. Needed the nerf, got it. Let's see how it goes.
Yep. Casante, this guy's a creature. This champ is just completely broken, especially in pro play. His E is getting 1.5 seconds cooldown added to it.
When do you max this ability?
You max it last.
Okay, so essentially does nothing.
It's going from 9 to 10.5, yeah.
Does this mean anything? Is it just like...
It's a very small
we nerf Casante?
Yeah, it's a very, very small nerf. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just a technicality nerf. Like, yeah, we did it, guys. We nerfed him.
Yeah, just so it shows on a nerfed patch. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not buying this. He feels way too powerful at the moment. He needs some sort of trimming.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely don't think this is enough. He needs more.
It's just the new champs overloaded.
Yeah, new champs have to be OP.
Just way too overloaded. But yeah, hard to balance either way.
Very hard to balance. So Kaiser is getting about 25% more AD per level, which is good because when the patch first dropped, she was going like Stormrazor Ginsu's, like Stormrazor with a pickaxe, and that was getting her Q evolve, but now it's not because they nerfed Stormrazor. But with this, she can do that again, and she'll get Q evolve again.
Yeah, that's actually...
Oh, it actually says here, this should grant her Q evolution at level 9 with Stormrazor pickaxe, Doran's blade, and adaptive shard, instead of having to wait till level 11. So yeah, it's really nice.
Exactly.
How good is she at the moment?
She's bad.
She's bad now because of... Well, I don't know. Was she even good on the patch before they nerfed Stormrazor and made it so she couldn't evolve Q easily?
She was okay, but
yeah,
she wasn't like broken or anything. But now she's just terrible.
Yeah,
it just costs her way too much to get her upgrades.
This probably puts her back into okay again.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, the next one, I'm really glad this is a typo, Because
Yeah.
Kha'Zix base AD increased. Yeah, we really needed to buff Kha'Zix, guys. But they've actually decreased his base AD from 63 to 60.
Thank God.
The main thing this is going to do is reduce his clear time, which is, ever since they buffed his Q, they gave it a ton of damage at level 1, and his clear time just shot through the roof, and this is going to pull back on that a little bit. I think he's still going to be good, but hopefully not as broken as before.
Still a decent nerf.
I don't know. I'm not buying it again. Like Kasante one.
The only reason this is a good nerf, right, is that I think Kha'Zix Q uses total AD. It might use base AD though. It might use bonus AD. I mean,
I'm not sure, but still, like 3 base AD is a lot
yeah,
to start with.
It's definitely going to affect his clear speed.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but how much? And I'm just not buying it. I think. Feel
Let's
like this champion is not that great. I mean, I feel like that this champion is absolutely broken at the moment in solo queue and even creeping in competitive. A champion like this creeping in competitive means his numbers are off the roof.
Yeah, so the Q actually only has bonus AD scaling, so the base AD isn't going to affect the Q, and that's kind of what's one-shotting camps, so I don't think this is enough.
It's just there.
I think maybe they should have just pulled... They gave him something like 10 damage on Q at level 1 when they buffed him, so maybe they should have just knocked that back to 5 and have it in the middle of where he was and where he is now. That might have been a better change. Hopefully he gets a little bit less broken with this, but he might still be a menace.
To be honest, you rarely see a 3 AD base nerf to begin with, so I think you have to be careful with thinking it's not big, because in my opinion it might be still kind of big, because as I said, 3 AD base nerf, you rarely see that.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see how we will do.
Alright, Kogmore. W base damage decreased, so it's going from 6.5% base to 6% base at level 9. It's going down by 0.5% at every rank. So slightly less damage on Kogmore. I think that's probably fair. I don't think he's that broken that he needs gutting or anything, so...
Yeah, I don't think
he's abusing the fact that he can go the item, the Ginso, and the fact that there's Emilio in the game, Lulu still around.
Emilio is definitely huge for Kogmore.
I don't think on his own with Ginso is much of a threat.
Yeah, I think I like
with
that
an
it's
Enchanter
like
support.
A small nerf to Kog.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think this is balanced, because if he takes over the game, it's really hard to stop. If he has someone behind him, it's really, really menacing.
Yeah. Okay, Lucian. This is the passive on Lucian, not the one that lets him double shot when he uses a spell, but the one that gives him bonus magic damage on his auto attacks whenever he gets healed or shielded by an ally. So the damage of that is going down by 4 base and 5% AD. But now, instead of being healed or shielded, he can be healed or shielded, or when one of your teammates immobilizes a nearby enemy champion. So they're making him deal less damage, but be viable with more picks.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
I think this is probably going to bring back Lucian Braum.
100%.
Is it enough? Or do you just keep doing the same Emilio Lucian?
I like it, because...
You'll still be doing Emilio Lucian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you can... Emilio Lucian gets a bit worse, and it also lets you do, like, Lucian Leona or Lucian Braum, or, these things.
Yeah, like... The passive nerf is kind of big, but... putting him... letting him be more viable with different support that actually can do more damage or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think it makes him weaker. I think it makes him more versatile.
Definitely.
More playable in different team comps. So I don't think they did wrong with his nerf, or whatever you want to call it, adjustment.
think this is also a pretty big buff to solo lane Lucian, because a lot of the time your jungler is going to be able to immobilize people, so you're actually going to be able to activate your passive in a solo lane.
True.
Fozz, I know you like solo lane Lucian at the minute with the new items.
Yes, I think he's viable in mid lane and in top lane for that matter.
In a nutshell, they nerfed Enchanter Lucian, but didn't make him completely useless to make him more viable with more aggressive supports.
Yeah.
But mid Lucian and Nami Lucian definitely get hurt by this, especially early.
I think this is a very healthy change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it makes those combinations useless by any means. I think they're still viable, but just not OP anymore. Maybe.
Yep. Lulu. It's the first of the enchanters. Enchanters kind of taking over the game at the minute. So her base armor is going down by 3. Her passive damage is going down by 6 at all levels, which is quite a lot early, but then as you go late, yeah, like the difference between 15 and 9 is quite a lot, but the difference between 117 and 111 you're not really going to notice. So base armor nerf and early game nerf to pick, so a lot of early game nerfs so far. And then the shield on E is actually going up by 30, but up by 20, sorry, but only when you've maxed it. So I'm assuming it goes up by 0, 5, 10, yeah, 15, 20 on base.
This is just a straight up nerf in my opinion.
This is a huge nerf. Like,
yeah, the E thing.
Way more.
The E thing doesn't even help that much, because what a lot of Lulus are doing is maxing W, I think, for the polymorph duration.
Yeah.
And the like speed on your AD. So yeah, Lulu, big nerfs. Which is good, I think Lulu was...
Yeah. I feel like very early game, she's very gutted. Like 6 damage on the Pixie.
Yep.
And 3 armor less.
That's
Makes her lose a lot of trades now.
That's like, what, 40%? 35% of the damage of the picks at level 1? Quite a lot.
Yep.
Huge nerfs. But
really big early game nerfs. I'll have to see if this actually gets her out of pro play, because she's in basically every game at the minute. Another champ that's in basically every game. Emilio. And they're doing the same base armor nerf, so he's going to have the same base armor as Lulu. They want them to be at 26. He's also getting less armor per level. So Emilio is just going to be squishier for the entire game. And then the burn damage on his passive is going from 15 to 35% AD to 15% AD. So it doesn't scale anymore.
Oh my.
That's quite a big nerf.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know, I still think she doesn't get hurt by that much. I still think she will be viable even after these nerfs.
Yeah, I think Emilio will be viable. That's another big nerf to Emilio Lucian. Because Lucian really wants the damage from the Emilio passive.
I think this is a bigger Lucian nerf than Emilio nerf.
Yeah. It is.
Because most other champions that you pair up with Emilio don't really care that much about this.
Yeah, it's like a nice bonus having the burn.
Yeah, if you have Kogmore, for example, Kogmore is just gonna do
gonna kill
HP damage. Yeah.
Yeah, true, but like other ADCs like Jinx and such will not suffer. Emilio, those combinations with Emilio would still be good, I think. But yeah, Lucian, for example, or Kog'Maw definitely are getting weaker because of this. So yeah, good nerfs, but I don't know if that will remove her out of the meta necessarily. I still think she will be a strong contested pick.
Yep. I think Emilio will definitely still be strong, but hopefully not like permaban or B1 pick in pro play.
Yeah.
Alright, this is my champ. It's Nasus. So this buff is pretty tiny. Passive lifesteal going up by 2% at all ranks. These are, I believe these are level 1 and then 6 and then 11 or something like that. Oh, no, I think it might be 1, 9, 16. Something like, yeah, 1, 9, 16. it basically doesn't do anything. Like, maybe sometimes the healing from the passive is gonna actually convert into something useful, but I think it's gonna be one of those things that increases win rate by like 0.1% because it happens once every 1,000 games or something. I don't actually think this does anything, but this one is massive. So a lot of the time when I'm playing Nasus, I'll ult and kill someone at like level 11. I think this one's gonna be really big, and then I'll base and I'll come back to lane, and my ult will be on like a 20-second cooldown. But now my ult's gonna be up. Like I'm gonna have ult again, so there's no window for them to actually kill you once you hit level 11. Because Nasus is almost invincible when he's in his ult. He's crazy. He's like Ilaoi. You don't want to fight him in his ult. And then late game, he's gonna be able to like ult all the time. So I think this buff is really big, and this one's tiny.
Don't you think that the first one is a good buff for the Q max whenever you're in a matchup with the Q max?
Yeah, I mean it's 2% lifesteal. Like it doesn't really. I don't know. Even
Like
if you got
if you
like
combine it with the cooldown on your R and just having 2 more extra lifesteal on level 11, I think that's pretty okay.
yeah, it is okay. Like he's not gonna be sad that he's got it. I just don't think it's ever really gonna do anything. Like if you got 500 stacks and you Q someone, it's gonna do what, like 25 heal, 25 extra heal. Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
it's nice, but I don't think it's gonna do much. But the R buff is huge. Oriana, big ult increase. She's gaining no base damage at rank 1, but then 50 base damage at rank 2, and then 100 base damage at rank 3. And then she's gaining 5% AP on it at all ranks. So Shockwave going to deal a lot more damage late game.
Yeah, and I think these changes are not necessary for Oriana. I think she's been viable for some time now. She's just not being picked up, in my opinion. I think she's really good. She has really good ball delivery. Champions in the meta. She has really good zone of control. The parts about where she's bad is probably the very early game, and but with these patches that they made recently on her, I think she can win a lot of lanes now. A lot of lanes and a lot of champions that you see, she wins straight up. And yeah, I don't think this was necessary. Is it like a huge buff? I don't think it's a huge buff. By the time you get to these numbers, right, like 50, I think she's already in a position where she's doing a lot. She's just gonna, this is like a win more kind of scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is a bit win more. But it's really going to amplify the spots where she's good, like any Jarvan comps or things like that. You slam an Oriana in there.
Yeah, Wombo combo is gonna look way scarier.
Yep.
Also, the ball, if she puts in front of you, is gonna look way scarier. So yeah, you have to play around that well. I think she's a really good spot.
I think it's definitely nice for her to get this. She's going to be very happy with the 100 base damage on our level 16 as well. That's massive. Rell, oh my god, this is a lot of text. Lord. Okay, they're making her adaptive thing go into AP instead of AD because they gave her a ton of AP ratios, so it makes more sense to have that now. They're lowering the cast time on Q, which is a bit clunky. I've played a little bit of Rell and the Q is kind of clunky, so that's nice. The magic damage is going down by 10 at all ranks. And the jungle monster damage, instead of doing 300% of base damage, it's going to do 150, 222, 90, 360, 430 bonus damage to monsters, which the base damage, that's about double instead of triple. So a decent chunk off of the jungle clear going down, so Rell Jungle going to be a lot worse. The W, 10 less base damage on that as well, so 10 less base damage off Q, 10 less off of W. And then, massive nerfs to the bonus damage on
in the jungle,
on W as well in the jungle. The W
the
mount
well.
up, yeah, the other W. I don't actually know how much damage the base damage of that is, so I don't know if it's a nerf or a buff, but given what they're doing with these two, I would assume this is also a nerf of about 33%. And then the E is going to deal...
Can we actually check what her base damage is, so we can actually have...
Yeah, I can have a look.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows it on the
Well.
other two. On the other two, it's like a 33% reduction to the jungle damage. Mount up, the base damage is 10, 25, 40, 55, 70. So if we use 70... Oh, the mount up's actually going to be doing more damage to jungle camps, but the mount up's single target anyway, I think.
What about
So
Q?
the Q is losing about 33%, and so is the W. The crash down, the AoE one. And then the one where you like get on and flip one guy over your head, that's going to deal a bit more. But overall, it's a big hit to a jungle clear. And then the E...
Yeah, but they're giving her AP now, AP ratios.
She already had them.
Yeah. No, adaptive force. That. Instead of attack damage, using AP.
It's going to not do that much.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
And then the E magic damage 95 to 65. The max health damage is going down as well, so that E's going to do a lot less damage. 250% of base damage to... Oh, this is a massive nerf to her dragon clear. Because I'm pretty sure what was happening was that with the... No, maybe it's not. But the percent damage and like the jungle scaling was making her E do a ton of damage to dragons. I was hitting dragon for like 700 damage with Rell E when I tried it, so... Oh, and they're also putting a cap on the E to 150, so yeah, that's a huge nerf to her dragon take. So Rell Jungle getting a lot worse, Rell Support getting a little bit worse. Maybe Rell Support gets neutral, because the cast time on Q going down is really nice quality of life.
And I already think she's quite strong as support and probably OP. So, I don't know. Jungle Rell is probably out of the...
I don't think you can play... I mean, maybe you can get by playing her in jungle, but she's not going to be good anymore.
Yeah, I think this champion is absolutely broken, but she doesn't really go well with a lineup of ADC in the meta that are right now, because you will not pick her with Kogmore, you will not pick her with Lucian. Maybe now with these changes, yeah, I guess so. But like up until now, you would never pick her with like most of the meta champions. It doesn't make sense. But with champions like Nila, Kaiser, which also got a buff, and Samira, she works so well. And just the problem is those champions are never
also
all too strong.
Oriana as well.
Yeah, she goes well with Oriana.
Really nice.
It's really hard to pick out a champion in the game that doesn't go well with Oriana, in my opinion.
That's true, I guess, yeah. She's very easy to pair things with.
Yeah.
Rumble, I hope you're ready for this one. I've seen like a little preview of this. This is going to take a while. Okay, Rumble. Base stats, his health is going down, his health growth is going up. This is going to even out. He's getting 6 per level and he's losing 34. So after like level 7, he's going to even out, something like that. Level 6, level 7. His health regen's going down. This is like a nerf to like, yeah, until level 6 this is going to be a nerf, but after that it's not going to be noticeable, and then he's going to scale better. His passive, so he now has 150 heat instead of 100, so that's going to be, I think you get 20 per spell, so instead of casting 5 spells, you're going to have to cast 8 to put you into overheat. The danger zone is still 50, so you have a massive danger zone now, actually, so it's really easy to use your danger zone spells. But it's harder to proc the overheat if you wanted to do that. The overheat monster damage is down early, but massively up late, so we might see a return of Rumble Jungle. And the attack speed is massively up as well. I guess this is because it's a lot harder to proc, but when he's in his overheat, he's going to beat you to death now. The duration's slightly down, though. So what do we think of the passive so far? We'll do this like step by step.
I think this is a huge buff overall.
Yeah, I think for people that actually know how to play this champ, it's a big buff.
This looks
Like,
really good.
It's easier to manage the danger zone right now, right?
Yeah.
If the maximum is 150, you have a bigger
you have
bigger danger zone.
You have a 50 zone of not danger zone, and then you have 100 of danger zone.
No, wait, 50 plus. Wait, I'm kind of confused now.
Yeah, so if you're on 50 or higher,
Yeah.
you're in the danger zone. So you have the empowered
Oh,
spells.
you have 100. So you got
Yeah.
100 more for the danger zone? I think that's a huge buff.
Yeah, so he has massive danger zone. Now, and also the jungle changes. Probably Rumble Jungle might be on the table, but this is what I've been looking forward to. So,
yeah, but the passive is going to make him so good in the jungle now, right? Because you don't care about managing it too much. You can just go straight up into the overheat, and you're fine.
Yeah, you wanted to do that in jungle anyway.
Yeah.
You wanted to overheat to hit things. Like, you used to start W, but when there was a time where you could start W and actually your heat would go up at level 1 because you could W fast enough, and you would overheat at level 1 and kill your camp with it. But you can't do that anymore. But yeah, I think this is definitely a very big buff to jungle.
Mm-hmm.
The Q, so how Rumble goes at the minute is 1 and 2 items. He destroys absolutely everyone. He just bullies the lane so hard, but then he starts to fall off. Right? Now the base damage of the Q is going from 180 to 340 down to 135 to 195. So from 340 down to 195. So massive base damage nerfs, but it's also going to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% of the target's maximum health. This is a crazy buff to his tank matchups in top lane.
Yeah.
Wait, and this goes with his E that goes into shredding MR, right?
His E shreds up to, if you double E someone in the danger zone, it's a 60% magic reduction shred.
This is disgusting, and you percent HP as well.
Yep.
So you basically, what do you build against him now?
He's gonna absolutely destroy tanks.
At level 9, he does 10%.
10% per Q.
On top of the base damage. Holy shit, that's crazy against tanks.
They're making it do less damage to minions, but I think this is probably to make it do the same damage to minions. Maybe I'm not sure how this will work because obviously it's going to do the minion percent health as well. I'm not going to do the maths on that because it's probably pretty close anyway. And then
that's a monster cap, yeah.
They're adding a cap to it on monster because if they didn't, he would Q dragon for 10% of its health, and that's not okay. This is not a cap on the entire Q. This is just a cap on this percent health damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a buff for his tank matchups.
Definitely.
But for any other matchup, the base ADs hits pretty bad as well for his early game.
I think it's gonna hurt Rumble mid, but make Rumble top insanely good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So yeah, this is great. This makes him scale better as well, because obviously people get more and more health the longer the game goes on. His W is going from 180 plus 45% AP shield to 145 plus 4% of his max health plus 25% AP shield. So it looks like
what you need to look at is earlier stages actually, because this is the last thing you're gonna buff. You're gonna level, right? You're gonna go QE into W, right? So the 60 to 25 base is really huge. But how much is 4% of his maximum HP at the moment? So what does this mean at level 1?
Let's check his
so his max HP, yeah.
So his base health is 659, and then he's gonna get like a D ring, which is gonna give him what 80. So he's gonna be at 739, and it's 4%. So 739 times 0.04. That's gonna add 29.5, so 30 health from the health scale.
So 30 health plus the base is 25. Though it goes down by 5
so
approximately.
Really affect him, but it's gonna scale a lot better because his health's gonna go up a lot.
Yeah, but the AP ratios are gonna go lower, right? So he's gonna get plus 24 to plus 25. I think this just evens it out, right? Because you're gonna go proto belt, I assume.
You might. Or what I think this enables you to do, as well as the percent damage on Flame Spear, we might see like a Riftmaker demonic build.
Yeah.
But any variant of his build actually gives you HP anyways, right?
Yeah, true. Like Shadow Flame does, Rocket Dart does.
It's like the only exception is Void Stab, Zhonya's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think this just evens it out. Pretty much. I don't understand the change.
He will build, like, he will go more HP wise, like he said, like more of a demonic embrace.
Yeah, I think 4% of your health is gonna be more than.
Change the way you build Rumble, pretty much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would mean that you're gonna sacrifice a lot of damage. I guess
but
that's
you
gonna
have
give
your
you
baseline percent damage now, though, so you could go like a tanky Rumble build, even like.
So you're telling me this guy can go tank now and kill tanks.
So
yes.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is,
I love it.
He's going more tanky, but he will still do the same amount of damage as he would go full AP, for example. You know what I mean?
I think he's going to deal less to squishy people and a lot more to tanks now.
Yeah.
Which in top lane, that's going to be insane.
Hmm.
The E, normally this would be a nerf, making it generate more heat because it'll force him to overheat. But since his overheat thing's getting bigger, I think this is actually a buff because it helps him stay in the danger zone and helps him proc overheat when he does want
jungle.
And it's definitely a buff to jungle, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it's whatever.
So I think this is a buff overall.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cooldown on his R, 185.70 to 130, 105.80. So this is probably the compensation for all this other stuff that he's getting. His ult is getting a lot longer cooldown, especially early.
I think this is fair. His cooldown's pretty low.
Yeah, it is already quite low.
Pretty low, like 100 seconds, and he does go into ability haste pretty fast. It's a welcome change, honestly. Like in general, I've seen him ult way too many times. Like even inside one team fight, he can ult it twice or sometimes if it drags out. But I think this is a good change. Like this is definitely like a nerf for clearing waves.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. But later on down the line, it doesn't really hurt him that much. I don't think it matters too much.
Okay. Rumble overall. I'm excited to see if he's going to do some sort of like demonic embrace Jack Show build and just be a menace like a Mordekaiser or an Udyr or something. With the amount of base damage he's getting. Rise, another champion that's a bit bad at the minute. His passive, instead of giving him 6% mana per 100 AP, he's gaining 10% mana per 100 AP. So this is going to give him a lot more mana, which Rise never really goes That's not what this is for, but his spells, the damage of his spells scale off mana. So he's going to have almost double of the mana from his passive, which is going to convert into damage. So it's a nice increase to his damage. And then his E is going from 180, 45, 2%. The base damage is the same. He's getting 5% AP ratio on his E and nothing to the mana. So just 5% AP ratio on the E, and the missile speed's going up by 500. Not too bad.
Yeah, so this is better in top lane into melee matchups as well. The missile speed is pretty decent. You can I don't know how you feel when you play against Rise or with Rise. It's like when you get caught by his E, it's not that hard to wait out. Maybe this will change. So you can cast it faster. You know, like when you E, you kind of have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, one of the things, if you want to E W someone, you have to E and then wait and then W. This is going to make the wait time a little bit shorter.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's in the middle of the minion waves as well, EQ can be a bit faster, no? The spread is faster, it's harder to walk out of. Yeah. I assume this goes both ways, like when you throw E, when it spreads, and when you throw E to proc it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
When you throw Q to proc the E, it should be the same, right?
Oh, potentially, yeah. The Q bounce, maybe. I'm I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to see.
I'm not sure as well because there's 2 spreads, right?
Yeah.
So the first spread is like does no damage except for the first target, very little, right?
Yep.
And the next spread is when you proc it. So which spread is the missile speed
I
applied
think it's
to?
the first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
If this is the first one, doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
Does it? I guess with the
I don't think
W
so.
only.
But I think this
Yeah.
is like scaling wise, this is giving him a lot more damage.
I think his problem now is there's. I don't think he's good in meta at the moment.
Yeah.
He's playing against a lot of ranged champions. He's not gonna be tanky enough. There's a lot of ADCs that just burn him down. He cannot split push. Split push is also not meta. So it's hard to make use of him. I guess in competitive he can creep in with this. Maybe potentially. Like someone like Chovy could use this and push it to the max.
Yeah, this is
Of
a
course,
huge
you
buff
need
for
to be very
T1.
good and creative with him.
This is a huge buff for T1.
For T1, yes. For Faker.
Yeah. It's a fake
I
Zeus.
also think with a champ as Rise, you always have to be careful with buffing it because it's so damn easy to play. So you cannot buff it too much and make it too strong. I think already these buffs are pretty big because okay, he's not that strong in the meta, and as Fozz mentioned, that's usually because of the ADCs that are meta, usually with long range, don't need to get in auto attack range to begin with, so that makes him weaker by default. But as soon as like more short range ADCs or like champs like Ezreal get played more, I think Rice can be very strong again.
Although I agree that the whole aspect of comboing with him is easy, I think this is a really hard champion with a really high skill cap. You need to know what you're doing with him. Most of the times, you need to know where you're at in the map, on the map, how to use your ult efficiently, because not a lot of Ryze use his ult efficiently at all, and it's like playing without a spell, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's easy, like EQ, EQ, EQ. Yeah. We know that meme. Everyone knows that meme, Rev, right? I just feel like you need to be playing with him intelligently because he's not the type of champion that can go toe to toe with a lot of today's carries, a lot of today's mid laners as well. So
Yeah,
you
but
have
that's
to
my
make the
reasoning.
best out of him to actually make him work.
That's exactly my reasoning as well
Yeah.
because he's he has an easy like learning curve to start playing him. If you are really good with him, these buffs are definitely gonna have impact. But they can make him too strong that he's like for people that just start playing with him and don't even have to like contest any lane because they can just EQ as you said, EQ the wave and then roam look for a ult. You cannot make his wave clear and stuff too strong in that sense. So yeah, like I said, just be careful with the champ as Rice if you give him two big buffs because it's not a fun
Yeah.
champ.
He's always been on the naughty
Sure.
list.
Yeah. Okay. Siva is losing 0.3 AD per level, so that's 4.8 AD at level 18. So that's a little nerf. But then she's gaining 5% AD ratio on every bounce of W. So this is potentially massive in late game team fights, where you have Navori, you basically have permanent W. This is going to give you, it can bounce up to 8 times. So if all your, assuming all your bounces happen, which they're not always going to, but the possibility of this is that you do 40% of your AD more with every auto attack, which is quite a big buff. But obviously, that's like the dream scenario. Realistically, it's probably going to be a bit lower with how many bounces actually happen.
Yeah, I just don't get this nerf or buff. I don't know. It's a weird thing to do with Sivert in my opinion. I think she needs something else to get.
I think they just want to bring her back to being really good at dealing AoE damage in team fights, which this is definitely going to help with.
True, but most games don't go for over past 25 minutes anymore, so I don't know. If it does, it makes her stronger, but like I said, usually games are decided before she gets good, she gets strong, I mean.
But I think this is biggest once she has Navori Quick Blades. I think she's probably building something at the minute like Kraken Slayer Navori. So at 2 items, this is going to be a huge buff because your W becomes permanent.
True.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Siva can come back into pro play, because in pro play as well, she's like a enabler for a lot of champs, things like Swain that can't reach people, even Rise to some extent, who we were talking about earlier. Like Siva allows champions to close gaps that they wouldn't already be able to, so potentially a big pro play buff.
Yeah, Olaf, Galio.
Yeah.
Cassiopeia as well comes to mind. These champions can benefit with Zeri around. I don't know how much this affects the competitive though, because some of the ADCs are kind of cracked at the moment. We'll see what happens to Zeri as well. I heard she's getting gutted as well. So let's see.
Yeah. Yumi, this champ needs to be deleted.
It's more. Maybe there's something about deletion.
Now, the only thing that I will say is that Yumi is massively overperforming in pro play because people aren't willing to pick answers into it, like Senna lanes or Sona lanes or Zillion.
Or Singed support.
Or Singed support. I mean, Lehens might whip it out again. Lehens might whip out the Singed support. But yeah, I think you can just outscale the Yumi with like Senna, Zillion, and Sona, especially if it's like Yumi Zeri or Yumi Siva. The Zillion just presses E on the Zeri, and it's like, now what? You know? So, but the champ is still an absolute abomination and is way too strong. So, the W best friend bonus, instead of 10 to 20% heal and shield power, she's now going to get 5 to 15 based on spell rank, and you max W last, so it's going from 10 to 5 realistically. So that's pretty good. That's getting halved. The E shield from 90 to 210 plus 30% AP to 80 to 180. So it's down by 10 early and 30 late.
Yeah, shield was definitely too strong.
Yep.
So that's a good nerf.
And then here, the attack speed buff that her E gives the person that she's on is going from 35% to 25 to 35%. So a lot of the time, like if you would max Q first and then E, you wouldn't have the 35%. You now won't have the 35% until level 13, whereas before you would have it from level 1. So
pretty big.
That's big as well. And then the R heal, the healing on Yumi R since the rework is actually disgusting. It's crazy. So I'm really glad this is. Oh, it's not even being nerfed in any meaningful way. It's going down by 10 base.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
I think in total, if you count everything, it's pretty big. So.
I'd prefer if it was reduced by 0.
I mean, 3 times 25, 75. 75 now compared to 105 base.
I think Yumi does like 5 waves now after rework, right? It was 3 when she did the root thing, and
the more waves, the bigger this nerf is.
Yeah.
So yeah, 10 per wave, huge.
3 decent nerfs to Yumi. The champ's still going to get picked. It's still going to be extremely unfun to play against. And unless you have the exact specific counters to it, there is no counterplay to an Enchanter that can't be interacted with, so the champ just shouldn't be in the game, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree too.
And Zeri. This is the last of the champions, and then we're on to items. It's quite a big patch. So, movement speed down by 5. That's pretty nice. Like, movement speed nerfs actually affect ADCs quite a lot.
But it's up by 5.
Oh, it's up by 5. Sorry. Okay, that's really good for Zeri. That's a Zeri buff. Let's buff Zeri, guys. Okay, they're removing the passive that steals shields and gives her movement speed. So that's just gone from the game. And they basically just replaced her passive with a thing that tells you how her Q and auto attack work. But the big thing is that the Q will no longer activate Sheen. So this basically removes Trinity Force Zeri from the game.
Nice.
Which is very good. And then to compensate for that, the the on-hit crit multiplier is going from 65% to 85%. So they're forcing Zeri to build crit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does this make her considerably worse than she was? Probably. But is she still going to be disgusting? Probably.
She's just, at least now, I think she's able to be punished more because she won't be that tanky because she's forced to build crit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good. But they're actually buffing her crit as well. So she's gonna be like high risk, high reward. Either she wins a fight or pretty much gets a one shot, which is good. That's how a champ like that should work. But I don't know if it's making her weaker. Just you have to be more careful with how you go into fights, in and out in fights.
Yeah.
But just as I said, these new champs have such overloaded kits that.
Well, especially Zeri. Zeri's like the new Rise. Like I feel like Zeri's in every single patch. She's been reworked like 47 times. She's only like 2 weeks old. You know.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna be careful of saying if this is gonna make her weaker or stronger, because this champ always somehow ends up being OP. So
yeah, I think we could just remove these two champs and the game would be better. To be honest.
I think I'm pretty sure it's a nerf. It's a huge nerf, considering also that enchanters are nerfed to the ground, and I think items are also getting nerfed. A lot of items.
Yeah, we'll see in a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, already the first two are already bad for Zeri. So, Ardent Sensor is going from 15 to 30 damage to 15. That's just a big nerf.
the thing is, we don't build Ardent that much. At least not early, maybe as a late game, but like first 2-3 items, it's usually no Ardent involved, unless your team really benefits from it. So it's like,
I mean,
some games, but
it's either within 2-3 items or not, because support is not gonna build more.
I've seen like Emilio Lucian in pro play. They just go Sensor first. I think I've seen a couple of other things go Sensor first.
I mean, I see a lot of what's it called, like Shirelias into.
Yeah,
I see it usually as a third item or something. So yeah,
I don't know if we'll
it's a
see it
nerf
anymore.
for the item, but it's not like the item was that great in every game or something. Like it was a must-have item. Definitely a nerf,
Yes.
but
Solid nerf.
besides what you see,
BT 200 gold more expensive. That's going to be pretty bad for Zeri now that she's forced to go crit. That's another thing that hurts her.
it's a big nerf for a lot of ADCs. Like,
Was this nerf necessary for this item?
I don't know. I think this mostly affects actually Yasso and Yone. I don't think they needed nerfing. Because who buys BT on ADs at the minute?
BT is a weird item anyway at the moment, so making it more expensive, I don't know. You never are, at least on ADCs, you're not. If you buy BT, you're always like, could I have bought a better item? And now they're making it more expensive, so at least for ADCs, this kind of hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Gale Force.
Another one.
Yeah, Gale Force losing 5 AD, and they're removing the crit scaling on it and adding a 45% bonus AD ratio instead. So this is a huge nerf to Yasso.
It's almost any ADC that's meta too. Like Gale Force got nerfed 3 patches in a row now, I think.
I don't know how bad this is for ADCs, because like let's say you get Gale Force first, right? You're gonna be this is gonna be like 40. Because it's 200% of your crit chance and you have 20% crit. And this is 45% of your bonus AD. You're going to be approaching 100 AD, so this is going to be nearly 40. So it's not a massive nerf. But Yasso, when Yasso rushes this, he has 50% crit. So 200% of his crit chance is 100. So he's going from 100 to like less than 40 on the Gale Force proc. And this item is kind of what's keeping Yasso in the game at the minute. Because they removed the Shieldbow as a mythic, so Yasso's getting hit really hard by that. And by the Bloodthirster nerf. I think Yasso is just getting destroyed for no reason.
The thing is, he was a bit too strong with the Gale Force as well.
I don't know. I think it's the healthiest he's ever been. Like, I think he was more obnoxious
so?
with the Shieldbow mythic. Because if he goes Gale Force, he's squishy as fuck. You just one-shot him.
Yeah. I don't know, I think it was pretty strong on him. So,
It was
and
definitely strong, but
it's actually targeted to him specifically as well, pretty much his nerfs. So
yeah.
might be good. We just have to wait and see.
I mean, you can go Trinity now on Yasso. I've seen that build, and it's not bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad actually. Maybe that's what will happen.
Kraken Trinity is viable, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's what will happen because they removed Shieldbow and now they're stopping him from going Gale Force. So
this is just turning him not to be assassin.
Yeah.
And I think that's much better for the game. I don't think you want Yasso to be assassin, especially because he can do the snapping gauges with Gragas, any kind of knockup, right? If you're getting Yasso ulted now with the Gale Force, especially the pre-nerf Gale Force, you're getting one shot. And that's not much fun. That's like Yasso is not supposed to be ZR on you, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Shieldbow. This is nice for Yasso and for Zeri and all these champs, but it's kind of like the Nasus buff. Like gaining 3% lifesteal is okay, but it doesn't fix the reason that this item's not particularly good. And the reason I think it's not good is that the shield went down and then the attack speed on the item got moved from just being on it. You only get the attack speed when the shield procs now, so Shieldbow is definitely a lot worse than it used to be. I don't know if 3% lifesteal helps that much.
I wonder if there's champions that can benefit from this, but on the top of my head, I guess Samira, Nila, if they build it.
Nila's a really interesting one because Nila often goes Hydra, and Hydra's AoE scales with lifesteal. So the 3% lifesteal is actually bigger for Nila than anyone else.
Yeah. Or you could go on a champion that doesn't really, I guess in some situation, like maybe Jhin, that doesn't require you to go attack speed.
Yeah.
And extra safety. And lifesteal on him is not bad because of the tons of attack damage he does. That's going to be a lot of heals. The 3% actually means a lot for him per hit, right? So maybe on him as well. But I don't see this item being too good in general. There's very few champions that can use it. It's very awkward for a lot now.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, how would this be on Olaf maybe?
Would
it make it?
Since they're nerfing Bloodthirster, I mean, upping the price on Bloodthirster, this might be a more viable item now.
Yeah, true. It does directly compete with Bloodthirster for a slot at like 3rd, 4th item, so yeah. I guess
so you might see more Shieldbows than Bloodthirsters now.
Yeah, it's a nice small buff. Mandate, this item's really strong. Even on things like Victor, just Victor's W evolve enables him to permanently proc Mandate. It's really cheap and it does a ton of damage. So when you apply it, it's going from 35 to 75 to 40 to 60. So more early, less late. When your ally procs it, it's going from 70 to 150 to 80 to 120. So again, more early, less late. So this is... And then more move speed, 20 to 25. This seems like a buff to Mandate in the support role.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a straight up buff.
And then a nerf to Mandate in mid lane, like Mandate Victor, Mandate Oriana with Ryle Eyes, things like this.
Like a straight up buff.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's level 8. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna even out somewhere between 8 and 18, probably around 11. I think it might even out. Maybe, yeah, probably level 11.
I don't get this. Wait.
It's
from
down
level
late.
8. Okay.
Oh wait, no, this is a nerf. Yeah. So because it used to be 1 to 18, and now it's 8 to 18. Okay. Mandate's just getting nerfed then. Your damage isn't going to start scaling until level 8, and then even when it does scale, it's going to do less damage.
Yeah, it's also like a bit confusing there.
The compensation is that you get a little bit of move speed. Definitely a big nerf to Mandate.
Like, this item is not existent anymore then.
Yeah, maybe not. It's still a very good item right now. Like, it's a really, really strong item right now. So maybe, especially given that like all these other support items are like sensors getting nerfed and enchanters are getting nerfed and Mandate's better on things like Zyra, Brand. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I think this is a very big hit to this item. Moonstone. Moonstone is weak on every champion that isn't named Soraka. We're changing the formulas to always give the values of the allies of level 14 plus were getting in most cases. So the heal is going from 20 to 40% to 35% always. The shield 30 to 40% to 40% always. Same target heal bonus from 15 to 30 to 25% always. 20 to 30 on the shield to 30 flat. And then the ability haste mythic passive is going into heal and shield power. Ooh, this is really big.
This is a huge buff. What the fuck?
This is a ginormous buff to Moonstone, yeah.
What the hell?
Not only is it a
all
buff,
these flats? Yeah.
Not only is it a buff to all the champions that aren't called Soraka, it's a huge buff to the one that is.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think Moonstone going to be really good, actually.
Also, champ as Emilio and stuff, I think you can build this now, because I
Yeah.
think this item's going to be broken.
Well, having 5 heal and shield power as your mythic passive, like you buy this into Redemption, Redemption gives what, 10? This gives you 5. What's the Revitalize gives you 5, so you're going to be at 20% heal and shield power at 2 items, which is a lot better than not having that.
As an Enchanter support, I think you either buy it or you're trolling right now. Reading
Yeah.
Stats.
Well, you can still, on some, you can still go Echoes of Helia for the early game. That item's really good early. But if you want to scale as an Enchanter, this item's going to be insane.
Exactly.
PD, getting 5% more attack speed. That's nice. This item competes with Hurricane, and Hurricane's insane, so it, I guess this helps it a little.
I've literally
I don't know.
a single Phantom Dancer since, like, at least 2 patches. So,
yeah, there's too many better options now.
Just trash at the moment, and I don't think that this will change anything for the item. Maybe on some champs, but just as the item, it's not going to make it a strong item.
They're nerfing the Energized proc on Rapid Fire Cannon from 60 to 40 to 60. Is this...
Yikes.
Who's this for?
I mean, almost every ADC.
Yeah.
That's
Jinx, Lucian,
Caitlyn.
Helios, Caitlyn.
Oh yeah, this is a big nerf to Lucian. That's probably the biggest one.
Yep. Caitlyn, Lucian.
Yeah.
Even Zaya. Like, it's a lot of...
Who doesn't build it anymore? Like Jin?
Yeah, like, it's super meta right now.
Yeah.
The energized item. So, it's kind of
big. It's a big nerf. It's a lot of damage to lose per hit.
The thing is, the item is such a strong mid-game item, but it falls off anyway late game, so not letting it scale makes it even worse. I don't know if it will be that great anymore to buy.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just a...
I mean, 80 damage per hit in the mid-game is a lot.
Per proc. I mean, you don't get that many rapid fire procs.
I guess.
The thing is, it's like a lot, because you build the item just to get the proc, like for champs as Caitlyn or Lucian that just rely on the initial burst.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt, I think, Lucian the most. But, well, I say that, it's gonna hurt, like, Lucian Nami the most, but Lucian can now be played with other things.
True.
I think on the champions that buy it, especially like Lucian Nami, Lucian Emilio, you're still gonna buy it because you're buying it for the range. You're not buying it specifically for the damage of the proc. If you were buying it for the damage of the proc, you would just go like Storm Razor Static Shift because it's gonna do more. Like you're buying it for the range.
But it just fits the build that's meta right now. Like you just mentioned, Storm Razor, Rapid Fire, like those items synergize well.
Yeah, they also got nerfs. So, like Galeforce got nerfed. All these like small on-hit stuff, they got nerfed. I guess Static Shift is not gonna get buffed, but Maybe that compensates something with some builds. But yeah, overall, a couple of patches with the nerfs of Stormrazor, and Gale Force, and just base damages, on-hit damages. It does hurt a lot of these poke rapid-fire champs.
Yeah.
Which maybe is not necessarily bad, but I think it's just overall nerf to these champions.
I think this is really gonna cement something that I think should already be happening, but I think a lot of champs should just be going Kraken IE. Like Kraken is insane since the buffs it got, and then IE is just it's always been a good item. I think the nerfs to all these other items like Gale Force nerf, Rapid Fire nerf, Stormrazor nerfs that came in. I think Kraken IE is just gonna become the default ADC build, which is weird because we went from before they did the ADC item rework, Kraken IE was like the most common one too. And then we went through all these iterations of new items and then they like nerf things, buff things, and now we're back to Kraken IE again. So interesting how that one works out. Static Shiv is gaining 20 damage early and losing 10 damage late.
Static Shiv Rush seems good now.
Does it?
Yeah,
I mean, well,
big or anything.
on some champions, no?
I don't know. Who would you rush it on?
Vayne?
Does
Kale?
Vayne rush Static? Kale?
Okay, maybe not Kale. Maybe not Kale.
I have no idea who I would rush this on.
Could buy this on any ADC, to be honest. Especially with now the other items being nerfed, like Gale Force and Rapid Fire and Stormrazor last patch. I could definitely see Static Shift being built more, but not because of the 20 damage buff, but mainly because of the other items also getting a hit. So
yeah, I'm just not sure who would buy it over. Like, even though Stormrazor's nerfed, I think the item's still good. And then if you're not a Stormrazor champ, you're probably a Kraken champ. So I'm not sure what.
Yeah, it's nothing big or anything. It won't affect the meta that big. But there are champs like Vayne. Fozz mentioned Vayne, and Vayne is definitely an item. Static is definitely an item Vayne can build and helps her.
What about Yasso?
It's almost definitely not gonna be better than Stormrazor. Like the move speed on Stormrazor for Yasso as a melee champ who needs to get to people, the move speed on Stormrazor is like invaluable.
I see.
Well, no, the damage is getting nerfed later on, so I don't know if he would even pick it up later now. So yeah, I'm not sure. Right, Overheal. Overheal is going from 20 to 300 flat to 11% of your max health. So ADCs are generally sat at around 2 to 2.5k health, so this is going to be a nerf to ADCs as the game goes on, but a buff to anyone that's not an ADC.
So why is this not a resolve rune anymore? Well, not a resolve rune now, because this looks like a top lane rune. Read up.
Well, I mean, Precision is like kind of the top lane tree as well, like Conqueror, Legend Tenacity, Last Stand, these are all top lane runes.
Should have been resolve free.
The problem I have with Overheal is that it directly competes with Presence of Mind, and on a lot of champions you need that rune.
The only ADC that builds, or I mean, picks this rune is Aphelios. Other than that,
Yeah.
I mean, MF.
This rune is
MF build it regularly to keep her W up.
I mean, MF I think is better with Presence of Mind, or even Triumph. Like Overheal.
Well, now definitely.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there are any champions in top lane that are like really gonna benefit from this. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, maybe you might take it instead of Triumph on Aatrox now.
I don't know. This looks like a good Olaf rune now. Looks like a good.
It's hard to play Olaf in top lane without Presence of Mind, though. That you're gonna go That's why I said Aatrox, because he doesn't have mana.
Okay, maybe Aatrox.
Like, the worst part of this rune for top lane is that it stops you getting Presence of Mind. Like, it's not even a bad rune. It's just you can't have both of them. So.
What about Aurelia?
She loves Presence of Mind, especially early game.
Maybe this should be moved to resolve then.
This rune is just kind of trash. to be honest.
Well, I don't think it's bad. Like
I
Fozz
think
said,
this is really good now. In 11% of maximum HP.
If this rune was exactly where it was, but in the resolve tree, like on the top row.
Exactly. So it's trash in comparison with
the other options. Compare this to Shield Bash, and it's like you take overheal every time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a champion that can abuse this.
But yeah, I think
like
Aatrox
Yorick or
be...
something wild, and then it's like 200 HP worth of shield like at level 1.
I think Aatrox might do it. Maybe I don't know. There's probably something that it's going to be good on. But we'll have to see what beats its head out.
Like Gnar, maybe even.
I don't think
Gnar
heals.
do anything.
It's hard for him to actually get the shield.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Riven
with Hydra Rush. I think
Hydra into
the thing is, Riven's such a like AoE based champion that Triumph is really good on her for like cleaning up. But sometimes you might take this over Triumph. I guess Riven could take it, yeah.
Any tanks that heal? I swear this is gonna be a problem at one point.
Maybe like
this is too much.
What about Mundo with ult or something?
Yeah. What would he go? Like I guess he would go resolve, like grasp, and then
go
overheal.
Grasp with like attack speed and overheal. Although he really likes last stand, so maybe he would go like overheal last stand on Mundo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see. Finally, the last two things. Mid lane gold. There you go, Fozz, you're getting your gold back in mid lane.
Hallelujah. I think this is huge. This is huge for a lot of reasons. Well, you're getting flat 100 plus gold, whatever it is, right? And of course you need to last it. And there's a thing about the futures market now that's going around with the Lost Chapter. And I think this is a huge buff for it. So just better timers for that. And yeah, overall, pretty good thing that happened. I think they should have done this in the last patch when they made minions run faster to side lanes as well. So this is definitely a good change for mid lane.
Yep, I agree. I think mid in the past has been one of the best roles in the game, but recently it's become, I think, the second worst after top lane. So I don't think there's any reason that it needed to have less gold than other roles anymore.
Yeah, it's here and there. Depends. I guess it depends what aspect, like competitive or solo queue. I guess it's more impactful in solo queue, I would say.
Finally, red buff being nerfed. This makes me really happy as a top lane player, especially this bit. So the damage is going from 6+6 times level to 6+4 times level, so the damage is down a lot. The slow amount from 10 to 25% to 10 to 20%, halved for range champions. This is lovely. This makes it so that a Kindred ganking you at level 3 doesn't slow you by 10%, she slows you by 5%. So much more fair. And then an AD carry in a late game teamfight doesn't slow you by 25%, they slow you by 10%. This is just so much more fair for melee champs. And then the health regen also going down. It's okay. Down late. Like, it did heal a lot once it got to this 9%, but 5% is still a lot of healing, so I don't think that's going to be too noticeable.
Why is it that nerfed in the late game? Doesn't make sense.
I agree, actually. I don't think it needed a late game nerf.
I do. If you ever play melee champs into ADCs in late game, it's just disgusting. You perma-slowed.
Okay, the slow, yeah, but the heal regen. Like, why?
No, it's only out of combat health regen anyway. I don't think that changes much.
Felt good. Oh well.
Yeah, so quite a big patch. We finally got through it though.
Wait, what do you mean? Where's skins?
Oh, you want to look at skins?
Yeah.
Oh, Mythic Shop rotation. Mythic Shop? Now available: Prestige True Damage Kiana, Obsidian Dragon Set, Debonair. There's a Debonair brand Prestige. Kyrie Akali, Hextech Jarvan, Hextech Sedge, Crystallis Motus Leona, whatever that is.
And a mythic.
Mythic Chroma for High Noon Lucian, that might be quite cool. High Noon Lucian's a really cool skin, and the Chroma will probably be like the red that they did for the Ashen thing. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what colour this Chroma is, but this could look cool.
Yeah.
And you can
Definitely.
still get DRX Aatrox, but it'll be leaving soon. And then these are the ones that were in before that are leaving. New skins. Shanghai Scrolls. We got Bard, Kogmore, Lilia, Tom Kench, and then this is the new Leona skin.
Ooh, Lilia's splash art looks juicy.
It does. I really like this skin line. It's really nice. Look at the chromas. Bard. Yeah, looks okay.
He looks like a ward.
He does look like a ward. I can't seem to get out of this. I'm stuck. Guys, I'm stuck.
Escape? No.
There we go. Kogmore. It looks a bit
good.
goofy, but it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that the eye changes colour on everyone. That's really nice.
Yeah.
These two are pretty similar.
These chromas are nice.
Lilia, I think this is the best one. This looks great.
Yeah, Lilia looks amazing.
Yep.
Look at that.
A really nice
like
variety of colours as well for the chromas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then Tom Kench looks pretty good too.
Why does he look like a dog?
He does look a bit like a dog. Yeah.
Just the mask, dog mask?
Yep.
It's supposed to be. Okay.
And then this is the Leona skin with a chroma. I mean, it looks okay.
Basic.
Yeah, it looks very
like
basic.
Mastery on top of her head, and that's it.
Yeah, this is a mythic skin apparently. That's it. So, yeah, hopefully this ends up being a good patch. You got any closing remarks?
Go mid lane!
Yeah, I like this patch, to be honest. Good. Some champions that really need the nerf got a nerf.
Yeah.
Others are maybe playable now. So yeah, definitely a good patch that will have influence on the meta.
Yeah,
and which champs are gonna be played a lot. So
I'll see you in Grandmaster. All right. Bye.